No. Not that important.
Judge goes in, Judge Williams,
Yeah. This one we're not ready yet. I probably where I'm gonna have to shut down. Yeah, it's on, so it should be showing. And I think it's the one that's, it should say, I think you have this middle initial on that one. And this one is showing. It's showing the bench up here on the middle. Should be.
I need to go get this.
All rise. Municipal Court of Battleground, Richfield and the Center is now in session. The Honorable Andrew Wheeler is now presiding.
Thank you. You can be seated. So it looks like my computer's not logged into Zoom.
It's small.
Oh, I apologize. Break that. It's only been 2 years on Zoom here. You think I'd have that figured out by now? Okay. All righty. I know I had Mr. Carley waiting for quite a while this morning. I'm going to call his matter first. I know you have two matters, Mr. Carley. Any preference on which one we have first?
Your Honor, I believe I have 3 on the docket for this afternoon. Could we begin with Mr. McPhail?
Okay. Is Duncan McPhail here or I'm bringing him in right now?
And I don't have access to the waiting room. Is Sally Battershell in the waiting room?
No, I
Okay.
have a person with the last name Washington, a Samantha, and an Aisha Stafford.
Okay, I wasn't sure if the AV was gonna appear today, but we
Okay.
can proceed.
Mr. McPhail, if I could have you take yourself off of mute, sir, and turn your camera on, please. Thank you, sir. Can I have you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record?
Duncan McPhail, April 7th, 1968.
Thank you, Mr. McPhail. You are making your appearance today on Zoom. Your attorney, Mr. Carley, is also present. By the looks of the documentation, Mr. McPhail is entering a stay today. Is that correct, Mr. Carley?
Yes, Your Honor, that's my understanding.
Mr. McPhail, what I tell each and every person I've entered into Zoom over the last 2 years is I am not a party to this contract. This is a specific agreement between yourself and the city of Richfield. My job is to make sure that you understand the terms of this agreement. And then at the conclusion of the agreement, which in this circumstance is a 24-month time frame, my responsibility is to make sure that the case gets dismissed. To that end, I am going to review with you the terms of the stay agreement. If you have questions or need additional time, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to have you reconnect with Mr. Carley. As I stated, this is a 24-month agreement. There are some financial portions to the agreement. There's a $150 filing fee recoupment and a $150 supervision fee. During the time you're on your stay, sir, you are to maintain a payment plan with the court. You are to complete 40 hours of alternative community service. This can be done at any nonprofit of your choosing. Please make sure that that nonprofit or yourself provides documentation to the court regarding the number of hours completed and a contact person so the court can verify the number of hours. You are to complete a substance abuse evaluation and comply with treatment, an anger management evaluation and comply with treatment. You would have no contact with Sally Battershell. During the pendency of your 24-month stay, you're not to have any new criminal charges, good behavior. You're to appear at all future court dates. The charge which you are entering your stay on is what is called a gross misdemeanor in the state of Washington. It's subject to 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. In entering your stay agreement today, you are giving up several important rights on that criminal charge. First of all, you are waiving your right to a jury trial. I have 2 questions for you. Do you understand your right to a jury trial?
Yes,
And you understand that in entering this agreement, you are giving up that right.
yes,
Second, you are waiving your right to a speedy trial. First question, do you understand that right to a speedy trial?
yes,
Second, do you agree to a commencement date, meaning a date that speedy trial will begin again of March 23rd, 2025, meaning in that
Yes.
circumstance, the city of Richfield would have 90 days from that date if it became necessary to bring you to a judicial proceeding. Are you in agreement with that?
yes,
Charge which you are entering your stay on, we already talked about, is a gross misdemeanor. There's an electronic signature on this document. Mr. McPhail, do you have any questions of your attorney, Mr. Carley, or of the court before I enter you onto this agreement?
No, Your Honor.
We have two future court dates. The first is going to be on June 22nd, 2023. At that time, we'll be looking at your alternative community service. We'll be looking at the alcohol or substance abuse evaluation, and we'll be looking at the anger evaluation. And certainly any treatment that you are able to undertake as well. We are setting a final review date for dismissal of this case on the 20th of March, 2025 at 1:30. At that time, if you successfully have completed all of conditions and obligations, the case will be dismissed. Do you have any questions at all, sir, regarding any manner of the obligation you are entering today, or any questions regarding this court proceeding?
No, Your Honor.
We're going to be sending you some documentation, sir, your copy of the signed stay agreement. We're going to be utilizing the address on North 2nd Way in Richfield. Is that the best address for us to send you mail?
Yes.
All right. I wish you well on your stay agreement, sir. We will see you back here on June 20th. You may go ahead and log out.
It does, yes.
All right, Mr. Carley, your next matter.
Thank you, Your Honor. I also have Adam Lifehite.
Okay. Mr. Lifehite in the courtroom. Sir, if you could come on up here to the rostrum, please. Good afternoon. And can you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record?
Adam Lifehite, 10/1/1985.
Okay. So, Mr. Lifehite, you have heard already a little bit about the stay agreement. We've certainly talked about my role in this process. I won't go over that with you again. You were sitting here in the courtroom. Your agreement is slightly different. It's for a shorter duration of time. So this is a 6-month stay agreement. For some folks, that's great. For other folks, it means there's some things you have to do a little bit faster. So just make sure you're aware of that. That said, I am going to review with you the agreement itself. Make sure if there's no questions. If you need additional time to talk to Mr. Carley, we can always put you in touch with him before we proceed. Financially, there's a city filing fee recoupment of $150. There is a pretrial supervision fee of $150. There could potentially be restitution owing to the city of Richfield. That's an amount to be determined. Once that is determined, that will be part of the conditions of the stay agreement. You are to maintain compliance with any court-ordered payment plans for fees and costs. You are to do 24 hours of alternative community service, as you heard me tell the last gentleman. That can be any nonprofit of your choosing, just to make sure you have documentation for the court with a contact person and so forth, where those hours can be verified. You're not to have any new criminal charges. The charge which you are entering your stay on is what is called a simple misdemeanor in the state of Washington. It's subject to 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. You are still giving up some important rights in entering this agreement. First, you're giving up your right to a jury trial. Do you understand that right?
Yes,
And are you in agreement to waive that right?
yes,
Second, you are giving up your right to a speedy trial. Do you understand what that right means?
yes,
And are you in agreement, to commence or begin that waiver October 5th, 2023?
yes,
Okay, that would give the city of Richfield 90 days from that date if it became necessary to bring you to trial. I do see that you have already electronically signed the stay agreement. We are setting a review date, sir, to look at the conditions, specifically the alternative community service and potentially the restitution to take place on July 6th, 2023 at 1:30. That is the next mandatory court date. Certainly, if you're in compliance with everything and everything's done, the court will get in touch with you a few days before and potentially waive that hearing. We have a final hearing set for October 5th, 2023 at 1:30. Again, at that time, if you are in compliance, we will sign paperwork to dismiss your case. Do you have any questions for me before I sign you into the stay?
no, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
That was on 12 months.
6-month stay.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Lifehite, I have signed the document. The clerks will get you a copy over by the door. Once you have your copy, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Carley, and I think you said there was one more matter?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, my last matter is Miss Jessica Fodge. She may or may not be going by the last name of Washington on the Zoom call.
Okay, there is a person whose last name is Washington. I'll bring them in along with Ms. Ward.
There is an infraction on Mr. Levi.
Okay,
Yes, for Mr. Lifeheight, there was a tracking infraction that we will be admitting to.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, if you could just hand me that file back and we will go ahead and dispose of that infraction. I did not catch that.
Thank you, Carol. That was part of the
Okay.
agreement. I just didn't get it in there. And it would be, the agreement included the full amount of 237.
All right, so this is the expired registration infraction 3A0137-862 on the agreement of the parties that is determined to have been committed. $237 financial obligation. $237. Okay. Get you some paperwork for that as well. Okay. And we have a person who is listed as Ms. Washington, but is that Ms. Fodge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record?
My full name is Jessica Lynn Fodge. Washington is my maiden name.
Okay. Ms. Fodge, we do have your attorney, Mr. Carley, here. This matter is scheduled for a sentence compliance hearing. I'm just going to get your paperwork pulled up here.
Okay.
So it looks like Ms. Fodge was last before this court back on the 5th of January.
Mhm.
She had completed her work crew. At that time, we did not have proof of a substance abuse evaluation. I do see one is in the file, I believe. No, so it looks like we have a notation that an evaluation was done at Affinity. And it looks like then there was some discussion about transitioning to either helping professionals or back to Affinity. And it looks like the court file does not have any new documentation since January. Do you want to address that, Mr. Carley?
Yes, Your Honor, certainly, I'd be happy to. So Miss Fodge did follow through with treatment recommendations where she had a little bit of a hiccup, and there is still more work to be done from her end. She lost her job. Based on that, she lost her health insurance. Based on that, she was not able to follow through with treatment because she wasn't able to come up with the financial aspects for the treatment evaluator. She is now working double shifts at her job to make ends meet. She does have an evaluation scheduled with Safe Haven, I believe for next week on the 11th, to get started with their office. She is doing the best she can. It's a little bit stressful for her with finances, but she is making an active effort.
All right, Ms. Fodge, very sorry to hear about your job circumstances. I think what the court is going to be doing at this time, I've certainly noted that you have an evaluation scheduled at Safe Haven. I'm inclined to set this matter out 2 months. Certainly the expectation at the next court date is you're going to be in a treatment program by then. So that gets us out to the June 8th court date. So the next court appearance, June 8th, 2023 at 1:30. We're going to be mailing you some paperwork, ma'am. Are you still getting
Okay.
your mail at the address on Royal Road in Richfield?
I am. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, we will send the paperwork there. Anything further on Ms. Fodge, Mr. Carley?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, you may both disconnect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is Mr. Downing here in court? Jonathan Downing? How about Ms. Stifler? And if you could state your name, ma'am, please.
Mandana Sujati Stifler.
I try to call the people who are in compliance a little bit earlier, so I appreciate it. You get all your documents in the file. Had a nice letter in there as well explaining what you've been doing, so looked quite good. We had the mental health counseling update letter, substance abuse treatment is done. I'm going to set you over till July 6th, 2023 at 1:30. It's 3 months out. Again, very similar documentation regarding the continued treatment would be helpful. Other than that, you're in full compliance and everything on your case.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We'll be getting you a copy of the document here shortly. Once you have that copy, you are free to go. Sure.
That's what I was gonna ask. Will
Correct.
that be my
Yep.
final court date?
It will be.
Thank you, sir.
And if we get close and everything's done, we have from time to time been known to dismiss early. So we'll usually reach out to you if we do, but you're correct.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good luck. All right. I'm just going to call some names, figure out who is here real quick. Is Mr. Calhoun Prater here? Okay. And Mr. Downing is not here, it sounded like.
There's a note that if you need a payment.
Oh, all right, we'll return to that one. Michael Hunter here. Okay. Cassandra Lewis. Okay. Kai Olson. Amber Sickler. Aisha Stafford is on Zoom. Dustin Williams. Okay. And Samantha Peterson. Okay.
Show cause, they don't see this word on.
She is on, yeah, she is on Zoom. Good afternoon, Ms. Ward. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine. How are you?
We're doing well. Ms. Peterson does not appear to be in court yet. I don't know how long you were planning on waiting. Oh, we
She
do.
indicated that she was going to appear via Zoom. Is she logged onto Zoom?
There's a good chance that she is. So we'll bring in that Samantha. Thank you. Ms. Stafford, if I could have you turn your camera on, please, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Can you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record?
Aisha Stafford, July 27th, 1992.
Thanks, Ms. Stafford. I'm just getting your paperwork pulled up here. Give me just a moment, please. So, Ms. Stafford, it looks like you completed an evaluation at Lifeline back on December 6th. They recommended 12 weeks of treatment. I don't see any other treatment documentation since that time. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, I'm currently in a treatment program in Oregon through CODA. My counselor person said that they should have sent you all of my information because I'm 4 weeks in already.
Yeah, nothing has been received yet, ma'am, so I have no reason to disbelieve you. But that said, we're going to need to get some documentation. What I'm going to do, Ms. Stafford, is to set your matter over to the 27th of April for us to review and see exactly what you're doing at CODA. Some providers are different than others. Some, I have folks that have to physically get copies that they're scanning and emailing to the court. I have others that the treatment providers stick with it. Because you're ultimately the one responsible. I have no problem giving you some additional time, but please make sure that the documentation has been filed with the court. You can give the court a call a few days before, always to make sure, okay?
So I have to appear again on the 27th.
As I don't have any documentation since December, yes, you do.
Okay, if I'm able to call the court and have them verify that I have it, do I need to appear again?
Our court clerks do have the authority to reset a matter out. So yes, if we have compliance documentation that I'm able to review in advance, yes, we can strike a hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Are you still on Hancock Street in Portland?
Yes,
All right, we will send your documentation there. Thank you very much. You can log out.
thank you.
Yep. Okay. Do we have Samantha? Ms. Peterson, can I have you unmute and turn your camera on, please, ma'am? Thank you very much, ma'am. Can you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record?
Samantha Peterson, April 3rd, 2002.
Thank you. Your attorney, Ms. Ward, is present. Ms. Ward, do you need any time to talk to Ms. Peterson?
I don't, Your Honor. I had the opportunity to speak with her before this hearing, and then I also spoke with Ryan Busby, who is the special prosecutor on this case. I also had the opportunity while I was in court this morning to look at the court file. Ms. Peterson did have her treatment agency send a letter to the court showing that she is actively in treatment and that she is in compliance. The only thing noted on that treatment letter or progress report is simply that she missed one UA back on March 8th. We knew about that. We raised that last time she was in court. She missed that because she was getting her wisdom teeth taken out. But beyond that, she is in compliance. And so we just asked that she just be placed back on formal reviews.
Ms. Carmy.
And this one will be a Mr. Busby.
Oh, so is Mr. Busby on board with that?
I can advise the court that I spoke with him via text message this afternoon, letting him know that I had physically seen the compliance letter showing that she was in compliance, but for that one missed UA, and he agreed that if that were the case, he was in agreement with putting her back on formal reviews.
Okay. So Ms. Peterson, we're going to set your matter out to the 6th of July, 2023 at 1:30. That'll be your next mandatory court date. Please make sure that Helping Professionals has sent some update documentation before that court date. We're going to mail you your paperwork on Northwest 12th Street. Is that still a good address for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll send the paperwork there. Anything further, Ms. Ward?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ward and Ms. Peterson can both log out. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's call up Ms. Lewis, Cassandra Lewis. Good afternoon, Ms. Lewis.
Hello.
It looks to me like you have completed your community service. Well done.
Yeah.
I think that the only concern right now that the court has is the new charge from February.
Oh,
I don't want you to say anything about it, but it looks like there is a new charge. With that said, Ms. Carmy, there's not at this point, it appears, any more active conditions for Ms. Lewis. Do we want to monitor the new law charge or simply it's a criminal trespass too?
Yes, and I'm just pulling that up now.
It's a city case.
Oh, it is. Yep,
Mhm.
Park County. Sorry, I'm just waiting for my computer to
No problem.
load. This was a. Okay, a plea back June 9th,
Yeah,
and we have 2 years of review. I guess if the defendant knows when there may be. I don't really want to ask that question. So let's just, let's just set this on perhaps for a 3-month review, and then my office can make a decision about whether
okay.
to bring a probation violation motion or not.
So Ms. Lewis, we're going to set a future court date for July 6th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. You're in compliance on all your other conditions. We're just going to follow along with that other case. We'll get you some paperwork over by the door.
Am I doing the case here?
Well, you'll be coming back here again one more time because we're going to be following that case in Vancouver. Okay?
Yeah.
We'll bring you some paperwork by the door. Once you have your papers, you're free to go. Thank you, ma'am. Matthew Calhoun Prater. And if I could have you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record, sir.
Matthew Calhoun, Prather, December 9th, 1979.
We had set this over to get your documentation. It's like we were waiting for documentation on the community service, 144 hours, and the theft awareness class.
Right.
You have your paperwork with you?
Yeah.
All right, can I approach and take a look at it, please? Thank you. All right, thank you, sir.
I've been juggling. My mom's had to take sick time so she can work half days so somebody can take care of my dad at all times. And so we both been paying along with me, so she's helping me out on that.
So just for the record, it looks like Mr. Calhoun Prater has completed 72 hours.
Wow,
Okay, so it's halfway.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
it seems like it's been going nonstop.
All right. So I'm just gonna put a little notation right here, 72 hours completed. Have you had the opportunity for the theft awareness class yet?
I know, no, I was supposed to get some paperwork on it.
Okay.
Here, I think I misplaced it.
Yeah, we can resend you the information following court today for the theft awareness class.
Great.
Are you still getting your mail at the address on Reading Lane?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you mind if I keep these in the file?
Yeah.
The forms you brought in? Okay. You'll use the same community service logs for the future.
Perfect.
We're going to set a court date out for you, sir, of the 6th of July, 2023, 1:30. And at that time, with the pace you're going, I think you'll probably be almost finished. All right. Mr. Calhoun Prater, we'll get you some documents over by the door. Once you have them, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Ty Olson. In fact, have you state your name and date of birth, please? For the record.
Kai Olson, 82100.
We have the 5 days of work crew complete. It's like we're still waiting on victims panel. We have an evaluation from October of 2022 from Starting Point. We're called for treatment. And we have no indication about the victims panel or you in treatment. What can you tell me?
So the victims panel, I already paid it. I paid $50 and I'm scheduled on the 11th at Legacy.
Okay.
That's the soonest one I could get.
On the 11th, you said?
Yeah, on the 11th.
Okay.
That's in person.
Okay.
And as far as the evaluation, I'm in diversion for a DUI, so I'm going on like Zoom classes 3
So
times.
you're on deferred prosecution?
Yeah. So
And that's with Starting Point?
no, I'm gonna do phase 2 with Starting Point. I'm doing phase 1 with Kaiser because I'm going through my insurance because it'll be
Okay.
cheaper. But phase 2 and phase 3 will be with Starting Point.
Okay. How far are you through your phase 1 program?
Like 2 months in.
Okay. you get the court some documentation regarding that treatment at Kaiser?
Yeah, I have my counselor's number.
Okay.
I could, you want me to just,
Well, here's what I'm inclined to do is to set this over 1 month.
Yeah.
We'll have the victims panel done by then. We will have hopefully documentation from Kaiser. And if I get that, I can kick it out 3 months then, because you're doing then what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And I have paperwork that shows it.
right,
So let's do that. Let's set this out to our May 4th court date. And again, if you get that Kaiser documentation to us a little bit sooner, we can take a look at it and then reset your case out a little bit further.
okay,
I
what,
don't want to bring people back a lot if they're doing what they're supposed to do. I just need paperwork to prove it.
right, yeah. What kind of paperwork do you just,
Yeah, a
Anything
simple letter that says you're enrolled in treatment, you're in phase 1 at Kaiser and you've been there 2 months.
okay,
I mean, that would light my fire because then it shows you have probably 1 more month at Kaiser to go, and starting point's great with documentation.
okay.
Kaiser's not great.
Yeah,
Because we're on
yeah.
YouTube.
Hmm.
Challenging,
Yeah.
is challenging. So yeah, if you can get me something from Kaiser that says you're in treatment, the duration of time you've been in there, good to go.
Okay,
All
perfect.
right, we'll get you that paperwork by the door, Mr. Olson. Keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you.
And victims panel, they're not going to send that to us directly. So that's an online form that they give you or send you. You'll need to forward that to the court directly. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, for the class. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Mr. Hunter. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello,
Can I have you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record?
Michael Hunter, January 3rd, 1995.
Thank you, sir. Just getting your paperwork pulled up here, Mr. Hunter. All right, you were last with me back in November. Having some struggles with the better way. It looks like you're still going.
Yeah, it was just work and kids at the beginning and then kind of trying to afford it. They require you to pay before you can get into the class.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're 20 weeks behind on the one-on-one, so
Yeah,
you're not in compliance.
that's the
but
money
you're-
part. I would have
Yeah.
scheduled that a while ago, but I need an extra $60.
So at this point, I know each time you come to court is probably taking more time off, so I don't want that to happen a lot. You're technically in the program, but it's just not. Do you think if we set this out 2 months, we can have a good report from them?
I think I only need one-on-one with them, but I'm not sure if I need two.
I think the most recent letter from them, let me just take a look at it real quick. I think it said 2.
Okay, then I would have yeah. I'm at about, I don't know how many weeks I have. I thought it was like 36 or something like that.
Yeah, you're correct. It's 35 sessions with 15 missed, and that was a week or 2 ago because this was back from the 13th of March.
Yeah,
So you probably are further along.
I'm at like 32, but I haven't done my one-on-ones yet. And I
Yeah.
think I need I'm not sure if I can do another one-on-one after. But
Yeah,
I
there's
think I have to
2
wait.
one-on-ones. It sounds like that you're.
I'm not sure.
Okay. So let's set this out 60 days. That would take us out to June 8th. And again, just make sure a Better Way Counseling, they're usually pretty good, gets us some documentation before then.
Okay,
Again, hopefully everything's looking good at that time.
okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Hunter. We'll get you some paperwork by the door. Justin Williams. Mr. Williams, if I could have you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record.
Dustin Williams, 9/8/87.
So Mr. Williams, really good on your community service. I see there's a parenting class. I see there's a 16-week parenting class. The thing that I'm not seeing is the DV treatment. What can you tell me about that?
And Your Honor, the city can help out there. The family law attorney did forward that to us, and I just, as I was pulling it up, realized she did not copy the court. I do have that evaluation that was done recently.
Oh, perfect.
Recommending a 12-month DV program. So we'll be monitoring that attendance.
Sounds good. Where's the DV treatment, Mr. Williams? What agency?
It's with Olivia Lovely
Okay.
out of Longview, Kelso, Washington.
Okay. And she knows to send the documentation down here to the court.
Yeah, so Yep. Yeah, I just had some details about the eval.
Okay, and the last name is Lovely.
Yeah, lovely.
And I can get, it's a certified program through Family Law Court in Cowlitz County.
Okay.
It was March 7th, I believe. Oh, no, assessment date was January 20th. We received it in March.
Okay.
And it is Olivia Lovely, and it's called Counseling Interventions.
Sounds good. All right, so I'm gonna find you have completed that evaluation. That was the one thing we were kind of looking for. Just make sure she send in monthly reports if at all possible. We will see you back here because I am gonna find full compliance at this time. We're gonna see you back here on the 6th of July, 2023. And just make sure those monthly reports are getting filed. That next court date will be on your paperwork we give you.
Okay.
That work?
Yeah, I just had some meeting with Olivia today.
Mhm.
Because she did her evaluation based off of not having a bunch of information. So I provided that information with her and I'm meeting with her today after I leave here.
Sure.
And then she has every right to change
Mhm.
what she's offered me to do for the evaluation.
Yeah, so certainly if we receive an amended or
Right.
changed treatment plan from her, we will hold her due to the standard of, her being provided the full information. I won't comment one way or the other till we get the paperwork.
Okay.
Okay. So the paperwork that's gonna have, the court's gonna print out for you is gonna have that return court date. We'll look for that. If there is a new evaluation or new recommendation, we'll look for that. Please make sure again to provide it to the court. Hopefully it comes to Ms. Carmi as well.
Do you need a copy of it? I have a copy. I can leave it up here.
Nope, I have it. Thank you.
Do you want a copy of it?
I just forwarded it.
Okay.
Or
Probably like a physical copy, if you need a physical copy of it.
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you though, Mr. Williams. We'll have that by the door.
Thank you.
Ma'am on the aisle, what's your name?
Shelley?
What's your last name, Shelley?
Yes,
Shelley's your last name?
yes.
Okay. Why don't you come up, Shelley? Ms. Shelley, apologize. All right. So you were here for our mitigation docket.
For my
Um,
tabs,
For your tabs.
51 years of, I've never been late on tabs.
So let's talk a little bit about your options today and we'll figure out what's going to work best for you, okay? So when a person mitigates an infraction, it means they're telling me that the infraction happened and they're asking me to lower the fine. Sometimes for people with really clean driving records, one of the better options is to do what's called a deferred finding. If we do a deferred finding, the fine will go down still, it'll go down to $150. But what a deferred finding means is if in the next 12 months, you don't have any other non-moving infractions, that this does not get reported to the Department of Licensing, does not go on your drive record, and it gets dismissed. So my question for you is, rather than proceed with a mitigation hearing, which would go on your record and go to the Department of Licensing, would you like instead to do a deferred finding hearing?
What would you recommend?
I would do a deferred finding hearing.
Please do.
All right. I'm not supposed to give legal advice, but I understand your question. I think a deferred finding makes the most sense. It's cheaper in the long run because there's less for your insurance company to see. And I have no
For
reason.
for tabs, is tabs a moving violation?
No, it's a non-moving violation. So, but it is something that would appear on your driving record still though.
Okay,
So yeah, I think to keep everything, like you said, 51 years with the good tabs, let's just keep the streak going.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. So it's $150 deferred finding fee. And we'll give you some information on how to get that infraction paid right over by the door. Thank you, Ms. Shelley. Have a good day, ma'am. Your name, sir?
Fred Foley.
All right, Mr. Foley. Let's get your paperwork. And I recognize you, Mr. Foley. I don't know if we have you on for today. We're gonna look it up real quick, Mr. Foley.
Today's the sixth, right?
Today is you're on the right day, which to make sure that we have what's going on. Ms. Landwehr is good at tracking that down.
Canceled the review back on March 22nd. Because he's compliant with deferred prosecution and a notice was sent to him. And we reset it to June 29th.
Oh,
So you're doing a great job.
We sent a copy to you. I have 205 Derrick Drive in Kelso.
yep.
Yeah, that's what we sent it.
So it's for June.
June 29th, because you're doing so well.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Foley. Sorry to have you drive down here, sir, only to find that out, but it's good news at least, huh?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Foley. You have a good day, sir. June 29th. All right.
There's no way you can follow up. No, you're on.
Yes. I apologize.
It's okay.
We are down to one file.
One file and 3 minutes, 2 minutes. One, two.
We have 2 people still remaining for the mitigations. Not deferred finding eligible. And.
I think he misunderstood because he's been so far behind. And he kept saying, I'm every month, every month, every month. But I will go ahead and cancel and we'll monitor. But he's not gonna have this paid if he doesn't get on the ball. It is his fault, and if I make it the next time, we will get it. Tomorrow morning. Like whatever day tomorrow morning, we won't get it on Friday. And that's what we for it.
So I have his return to Fort Carroll. Do you want me to just put the date on there? I'll sign it.
Yeah.
Where would we like him to be?
As far as a review date,
Yeah,
let's put it out to July 6th, maybe just put in the comments to review monthly payments, because he tells me he's gonna do a monthly fee, obviously. He has not, he hasn't only paid $100 since 2018.
so it just says substantially behind regarding payments, needs to make monthly payments. Move forward. Okay. All right, that one is ready to print. Yeah, no problem.
I didn't see the
I guess everyone's definition of substantial is different. Right, I get 2 mitigations and 1 for do the last one on the probation docket. Amber Sickler.
And I think she was that one from last year.
Yep. We'll deal with it now. All right, so Ms. Sickler is 2A0648-194. She was scheduled for review last week, but there was a little bit of ambiguity in regards to the dates. One said 3:30, one said 4:06. So we gave her the benefit of the doubt. She has 3 days of work crew, none complete, no proof of theft awareness class. At this time, with both court dates now having passed, no compliance with any of the conditions, I will issue or authorize a warrant in the amount of $2,000 for Ms. Sickler. And that's ready to print. If we need to print it. And I think that's it.
Great. And which one's ready to print?
Sickler if we want to, but there's nothing really to print, I guess. It's just a warrant. So
Yeah.
disregard, that's everything. Everyone's done.
Okay, I'm sorry, what am I printing?
That's just I'm on autopilot. Too much pie. All right. Do we call the mitigations or just roll them over?
Yeah.
Well, they're scheduled for 2 or 2:30. Oh. Well, that would have been a faux pas, huh? Wow. I showed up and the judge wasn't even on the bench. He'd already left before. I thought those were always for 2. Goodness gracious. Okay, well,
Are we done?
we have 2 mitigations that I was reminded don't start till 2:30.
Oh,
So I'm gonna step off the bench for now.
and everyone showed up for review.
Everyone except for Ms. Sickler.
Oh,
But we'd set it over from last week just because one document said the 30th, one document said the 6th. So we
Okay.
gave her the benefit of the doubt, warrant authorizing the amount of 2,000.
perfect.
And that was all. We were set over Mr. Downing
Okay.
to July. And that's everybody.
And you don't need me here for mitigation, so
I don't.
I'll bid you adieu.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. So I guess we'll wait.
2:17. Right,
Mhm.
well.
I know. Gotta say that we're gonna be hitting some rough sailing here the next couple of weeks, but
Got wrapped up now.
live.
We got this. We got it. We got that.
Yep, well, the getting is good.
Good week for, hey, we're going to the city on spring break.
Yeah, well
That
planned,
was super painful.
well planned. All right, well, we're gonna be in recess until 2:30 or a mitigation person appears.
I don't know, either did she ask for this? He did, and said it was important, but he knows more, but still young by anybody going to do. Yeah. Right, is this your Friday today?
Friday, yeah. And despite being disappointed about not being able to see my daughter play softball, still a good friend. This means we'll be able to maybe put on the night, I get home and do something fun.
Right.
It's like I got a whole extra day off. No, I
Or a weekend.
get that. I'm just, I'm enjoying this one. Have a good weekend, Mr. Chairman.
I would not know the FTA and compliance for monthly thing. Yeah, you'll have to break down We'll find this out for you. We'll find it out. When I get them. Start at 4, I think that's only 46, so it's not, yeah, you go on late. I have a phone call right at 4, I'm gonna go back to my Richfield office and then back here and make a phone call and then just go highly cure it. Probably around 4:30ish, but close to 5. One probably won't go. At least I know it. Yeah. I know I don't. You're dating someone, you know, right? Who is writing to you then? Oh, it's just a little thing. I thought you guys were dating. Show you what I know. I'm a really good matchmaker. Judge Slade on his 3rd date now with my daughter's teacher. Oh, so it went good. It went really good. I have it.
All right.
Thank you. You can be seated. Mr. Rotola, if you want to come forward, sir. Right up here to where the microphone is, please.
Okay.
And if I could have you state your name and date of birth, please, for the record.
Joseph Rotola, 09/03/1996.
So, Mr. Rotola, you are before the court requesting what is called a mitigation hearing.
Yeah,
Mitigation hearing is telling the court that the infractions were committed and asking the court instead to lower the financial obligations.
yeah,
Before I start a mitigation hearing, I'd like to make sure that folks are also aware of an option called a deferred finding. Deferred finding is something that a person is eligible for once every 7 years on a moving violation and once every 7 years on a non-moving violation.
Okay.
These are both non-moving violations.
oh, okay,
The difference between a mitigation hearing and a deferred finding is a mitigation hearing. This would still go on your drive record. It would still get reported to the Department of Licensing, those sorts of things.
okay,
We do a deferred finding, as long as for the next year, there are no other non-moving infractions given to you. Instead, this will, at the end of that year, be dismissed.
okay,
The total fine, if we do a deferred finding, is $150 total.
okay,
So it would almost be as lower probably than we would mitigate to normally with a fine of over $1,000.
and would this take care of both of them?
Mhm.
Okay, sweet, perfect.
All right, so with that said, I'm assuming by your response that deferred findings on both charges is your preference.
Yeah,
All right, so a total fee of $150.
okay,
We'll get you some right over by that little table. We'll have you wait there. The clerks will give you some information on how to get your fine paid and you are free to go.
awesome, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Have
that's
a
what
good day.
helped me join the military.
Right on. Well, congratulations. What branch are you going to join? Right on. Well, thank you for your service.
Dude, I haven't sure yet though.
Right on. All right, Mr. Quesada, if I could have you unmute, please. Sir. And if you could, for the record, just state your name and your date of birth, please.
Jonathan Casada, September 1st, 1990.
Okay. So, Mr. Quesada, you are before the court for an infraction of failing to obey a traffic control device. You have requested a deferred finding. Deferred finding would be admitting that the infraction took place and asking the court to lower the fine. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would you like to tell me about your financial circumstances or about the situation itself?
I'm not really sure how to answer that. I guess the situation was an accident. It was a stupid mistake. I didn't mean to do it. And about my financial situation, it would be, I guess, a lot more of a burden to have to pay that much rather than a lowered amount, just because of, have a family to take care of. And that's my primary concern.
All right, so I will mitigate the infraction from $145 to $80. The court is going to send you some documentation on how to get that fine paid. Are you still on Northeast 5th Street in Vancouver?
Yes, sir.
All right, we will send the paperwork there. Please make sure you pay the fine to ensure that nothing further happens on this matter, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can go ahead and log out. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, with that, we will go off the record. And court will be in recess till next week.